Asia has been home to the oldest and richest cultures in human history. Like a gem, this continent has attracted the world's attention with its breathtakingly diverse terrain and people, its historic significance, its contribution to modern science, technology, art, and most importantly, cuisine. Therefore, it's no surprise that we keep coming across incredible finds in this glorious continent home to some mind-boggling miracles. From landscapes that seem out of this world to artistic architecture built solely to honor the dead, some pretty unique things have been discovered in Asia, and in today's video we will be educating you guys about the 15 weirdest things people have discovered in Asia. So hold on tight and make sure to watch till the end, because some of these will definitely blow your mind. Before we begin exploring this magnificent continent, do take a moment to subscribe to our channel and click the bell icon to turn on the notifications. Let's get started. India's Butterball. The boulder you see in the footage isn't held in place by some artificial mechanism. Though it's really impossible for a rock this size to not roll down a slope, somehow this particular one seems to have been frozen in time. Experts think that this enormous rock is a glacial erratic that somehow ended up perfectly balanced on a hill. But the locals have a slightly different theory to explain this. According to Hindu mythology, Lord Krishna was a huge fan of butter, and the believers think this rock is a huge dollop of that butter he dropped here, and that's why it's called the Sky God Stone. But the name Butterball was given to it by a local tour guide who's been showing this miraculous boulder to visitors for over 20 years. Currently, this is a huge tourist attraction and woos many visitors from around the world who try and push it down, but to date, everyone who tried has failed to do so. The Rain Vortex. This breathtaking masterpiece is an amalgam of science, art and architecture at its best. This one-of-a-kind indoor waterfall can be seen enhancing the beauty of Singapore's Jewel Changi Airport. It seems straight out of a science fiction movie. The roof is formed to act like a funnel that collects rainwater and shoots it out the other end in a stunning display. The beauty of this waterfall is doubled the surrounding forest of local flora and fauna. The Singapore airport was already famous for being one of the most modern airports, and this waterfall has just added to its stature and value. The rain vortex gets its water supply from rainwater that's collected from the top and flows through the inverted glass dome. 10,000 gallons of water are poured down this funnel per second, and the dome itself is made of ultra-hard glass that absorbs all the noise created by the planes flying in and out of the airport. The design is state-of-the-art and was concocted keeping in mind all the requirements of the airport so it doesn't interfere with any of the operations or communication channels. Great Wall of China toboggan. Nowadays you can experience the gorgeous scenery and architecture of the Great Wall of China without having to walk miles. Besides the advantage of not getting tired, you also get to take a joyride that makes it feel much more adventurous than a boring tread. This slide has been made to provide tourists with a much more fun way to explore the wall by whizzing down this slide. All you have to do is drive 2 hours north to a particular section of the wall and descend to the top. From there you can reach the base by using this steep and loopy slide. The view is gorgeous. You get to speed downhill in just 5 minutes. That's some epic fun we wouldn't want to miss out on. Warra Art. This is art created from rice straws. Warra actually means rice straws in Japanese. Many incredible huge animal sculptures are created using the excess rice straw in Japan, including lions, bears, elephants, and many other creatures from Japanese mythology. This straw is the leftover from the annual seasonal harvest. The sculptors showcased their masterpieces in the Warra Art Festival that was first organized in 2008 with help from the art students of Tokyo and the local agricultural community. The aim is to bring attention to these materials and the phenomenal skills of the artists. It also emphasizes the importance of cultural farmers and their invaluable contribution to the nation. You can see in the footage how remarkable these sculptures are. Not everyone can make these. The artists truly deserve all the praise they get and more. Cat Island. The Tashirojima Island, located in Japan, is probably the only place where the cat population is larger than the human population. The felines have become the primary inhabitants of this island and are present in a huge number, and that's exactly why the place has been dubbed Cat Island. The majority of these cats are stray, but the locals consider them a sign of good luck and fortune. The residents of the island therefore take care of these felines and feed them like their own. The town collectively cares for these cats as they are generally considered feral, and taking even a single one in is considered inappropriate. The residents think of it as an attempt at hoarding the good luck for oneself, and that's morally wrong. Crab vending machines. Turns out obtaining live crab is pretty easy in China as opposed to the rest of the world. This delicacy is available to be bought from actual vending machines. The hairy crabs are especially sought after so much that they sell out immediately during the peak season in all major fish markets. On September 11th, people found a vending machine offering live hairy crabs on the corner of a street. The passers-by were given a golden opportunity to buy the mostly sold-out food item. The machine is restocked daily and a single crab costs around $3. Unfortunately, this machine runs out of stock pretty quick too, owing to the popularity of the crab. This massive success has encouraged the creator of this machine to expand his business by catering to after-hours demands and trying his luck in other countries too. Great Banyan Tree. This tree can be regarded as one of the most magnificent wonders of nature. It's around 250 years old and spreads over an area of about 14,500 square meters. It's also been recorded as the widest tree in the entire world. If you look at it from a distance, you'll easily mistake it for a natural forest. But in reality, all these trees you see are called aerial roots, and this great banyan tree has about 3,200 of these roots. Unfortunately, the 51-foot wide trunk of this tree had to be resected to save it from a fungal attack that preyed on the tree after a few storms hit it in the 19th century. The tree still stands in all its glory and is closely monitored by experts. Besides that, visitors from around the world also enjoy exploring this miraculous tree. The Scarecrow Village. This artistic tribute was created in the Warra Village. This village has an ancient and unique set of traditions to which the locals adhere even today. The Japanese have considered the bringing shame to their family a mortifying act since the beginning. They are bound to honor what their family members build for the future, and if any of their actions dishonor them, they're expected to go into exile or commit suicide. Now, that may be extreme, but it's true. Similarly, the Warra village practices a unique tradition to honor their deceased. The artists of this village create life-size replicas of the deceased person doing something they were known for. These scarecrows are then featured around the village. The audience may be thinning down annually owing to the residents leaving and barely anyone coming to live here. Maybe these creepy scarecrows are one of the reasons people are migrating from here. China's nail houses. These are houses left behind after the Industrial Revolution, the perfect example of industry against the interest of people. These nail houses are residences whose owners had refused compensations from property developers. They rejected the demolition of their homes and chose not to take the money and relocate. This forces the companies to back off and only a fraction of the property can be demolished while the rest stands. As for the development, well, it has to go around the property. China has many such houses, and despite the owners trying hard to retain their beloved homes, developers won't make it easy for them to stay. They find many creative ways to torture the residents into submission, from building busy highways around these houses to cutting off their electric and water supplies. They take all sorts of ruthless measures. But despite this bullying, thousands of nail houses stand proudly, telling the developers they can't always get their way. Deadly exclusion zones. Despite all our efforts and strength, we humans are helpless before Mother Nature. One such example of this helplessness is these dreadful exclusion zones. The community was built and advanced over decades, but nature wiped it out in the snap of a finger. In the footage, you can see the earthquake and tsunami-struck areas of Japan. When storms threaten to cause more harm than your average natural disaster, like a nuclear incident, people evacuated these areas forever to avoid becoming prey to man-made disasters. For instance, we all remember how Chernobyl forced all of its population out, and to date, humans can't live there. These exclusion zones are therefore a necessity. Largest cave in the world. Researchers have just recently realized that the most extensive tunnel system in the world has much more to offer than we expected. The discovery that these grim-looking and dangerous underwater passages eventually connect to Vietnam's cave system, so technically this is one huge cave. This system is one of the least explored and risky landscapes out there. Even the people studying these closely aren't sure how extensive they are or how deep they go. It's been predicted that this system is a result of both human and natural activity. These caves were what gave the Vietnamese troops an advantage in the war, and contributed to the element of surprise by which they defeated the enemy. World's tallest statue. Recently, India has revealed the tallest statue in the world and has named it the Statue of Unity. This is a tribute to a very famous and beloved Indian independence leader and is around 600 feet tall. The construction of this magnificent piece of art cost the country nearly $500 million. Now, this huge sum has been a point of controversy, as many of the locals thought this was an act of sheer overspending and this money could have been used to actually help the common man. A lot of the people weren't fans of the particular public figure either, and therefore police had to be deployed around the statue to keep the protesters away. Well, hoping that a huge and absurdly expensive statue would unite a terribly torn country seems like quite an overestimation on the part of the Indian government. Iron Pillar of Delhi. Though this pillar doesn't appear to be an exceptional piece of architecture that would attract your attention, if you study it closely and dive deep into its history, you'd understand why it's so important. This single long pillar standing in the capital of India is about 1600 years old, but it doesn't look so old. Iron is known as a metal that rusts, but as it turns out, the ancient people who built this pillar were aware of the science of rust-proofing metal. So this means they're way ahead of their time and get much less credit than they deserve. Since its construction, this pillar has barely rusted, and this is probably what forced the experts to classify it as an out-of-place artifact. Maybe it's the correct decision, as the pillar truly is quite futuristic for its time and does defy natural laws. Terracotta Army. Amongst all the Asian wonders, how can anyone forget the mysterious and enormous army of soldiers made of terracotta? It was in 1974 when farmers accidentally discovered what is now regarded as the most significant archaeological discovery in the region. These life-size soldier sculptures belong to the army of China's first emperor, Qin Shi Huang. It was constructed between 259 BC and 227 BC, and the historians thought it had been destroyed during the final years of the emperor's reign. And since his tomb was untraceable, researchers just assumed this army had been lost to time. But as it turns out, it was right here hiding under our noses. This army was constructed to defend the emperor in the afterlife. Well, we have to say he must have had quite an ego to be so arrogant that he assumed he would be an emperor in the afterlife too. But let's face it, ancient people were pretty weird. Kamakya Temple. While a large percentage of people in India continue to remain aloof when it comes to speaking out loud about menstruation and the issues faced by women, a temple that is well worn with time celebrates one of the most natural biological processes. Located on the Nilachal Hill in the capital city of Guwahati, the deity of the temple, Kamakya Devi, is revered as the bleeding goddess. It's believed that the Garbhagriha, or the sanctum sanctorum of the temple, houses the mythical womb and genitals of the Hindu goddess Shakti. Curiously enough, every year during the month of Ashad or June, the Brahmaputra river near Kamakya turns red. It's believed that the goddess menstruates during this period. But what is most ironic about the temple is that women are not allowed to enter it when they are menstruating. Legend has it that Sati once fought with her husband Lord Shiva to attend her father's great yagna. Despite his disapproval, she went on to attend the yagna. However, Shiva wasn't invited and also had to bear the insult of Sati's father, Daksha. Sati couldn't bear this and committed suicide. When Lord Shiva got to know about it, he was furious. Placing Sati's dead body on his shoulders, he did Tandava, the dance of destruction. Trying to calm him down, Lord Vishnu cut the body with his chakra, parts of which then fell at 108 different places, all of which later came to be known as Shakti Peeths. Sati's womb is said to have fallen at Kamakya Temple, hence the significance. So folks, that was all about the strangest things discovered in Asia over the recent years. We hope you enjoyed this and learned something new. Do tell us in the comments which one of these is your favourite. We look forward to hearing from you guys. Keep watching our channel for more informative videos. See you all next time.